Hi Sam. Just been uploading the latest Firefox and everything, so thought I'd pop on and do a bit of a live just to see if I'm still allowed to do it. Trouble is, it's taking that long to get sorted out. It's starting to get dark now. Are you all right? Right. The mic on this laptop probably isn't the best, I'm afraid, so I do apologise for that. All right. You're all knuckled down. Hey Steve, you all right? Do you think you'll be okay, Sam? Right. Are they expecting a really bad one? I think the last I heard we were saying something about, is it going to be a category 5? All right, Alex. I think I'm just getting a message off you actually. Well, fingers crossed, Sam. Are you all right, John? How are you doing? I'm trying to get it on my phone as well, because sometimes the messages come up a bit quicker on here, but here we go. Well, I'm smoking some of the Cornell and Dale small batch. I still struggle to pronounce it. The Sans Polcro, because apparently it's got the Toscano cigar leaf in it, and I just happen to have a Toscano cigar. I'm not going to try a whole one. I've given it a slice in half just to give it a try later on. Are you all right, Mike? Thanks for joining. Yeah, this is definitely. The trouble is, I don't know how long it's going to be available for. So it might be a case of get yourselves one while you can. Yeah, I keep seeing them, Sam, but at the local tobacconists, they're quite expensive for a box of 5, and that's always sort of put us off a little bit. I know, Alex, I should do more live, shouldn't I? Like I say, I was just sorting the laptop out earlier, so I thought, oh, I better get things updated because it's been a while since it was switched on, so it just took a bit longer than I expected. So what's everybody smoking and drinking? Got some Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I've seen that one popping up, Sam. Good choice, John. I'll have to check it out, Sam. I'm the same, Alex. I don't go on the laptop. I mean, this one I've got is just a little cheap one that I picked up because me good one decided to die on us. So what do you think of the 10 Russians, John? Do you really like it? Because I felt it was a little bit bitter. Left a bit of a nasty taste in my mouth when I was smoking that. Right, Mike. So is that Victoria mixture the Elizabethan mixture? Yeah, Sam, that double X twist is some tobacco mind. But once you get used to it, it's actually a really tasty one because I love that sort of barbecue charcoal steak taste to it. I actually got some off John. Yeah, I did, John. I don't know. There was just something about it that I wasn't. It wasn't sort of quite right. But I'm glad you like it. Well, Mike, I tried the Elizabethan mixture last year when I first started, and I thought that it was a bit too much like cigarette tobacco. And I left it for a while, and I picked up a tin, sort of, probably almost a year ago now, and I thought, oh, I'll give it another chance, but nah, I got rid of it. Um, Funny thing is, probably might find that I might like it now, but then again, I got a whopping nicotine hit from it, and I had some haunted bookshop this morning, and again, I got that same sort of nicotine hit from that as well. So it'll be interesting to know what that one's like, though. I'm leaving the single malt alone after last weekend. Odyssey. I think I got some of that, Steve. Poor. If you saw my video this morning, John, seriously, it was. I did that before the nicotine hit, and I had to actually stay up there for a little while before I could get back down into the house. Was that sort of like the 10-gram packs of each, Mike? I have to say I've tried the Sheraton's first bowl and I did enjoy that, and also the Curzon. I wasn't chuffed because I don't think it's anything like Durbar. It's nowhere near it. But if you think of it as not a Durbar, it is quite nice just as in a smoke on its own. So I've grown to quite like it actually. Are you alright, mate? Right, we've got two Alexes in the room now. Yeah, definitely, Mike. That's why I used to like getting the 10-gram samples from Cigars, because I think it's sort of, I think maybe about 3.99 now for a 10-gram pack. So when you think about it, it's quite a lot you can get before you hit the £50 free postage mark. So that's what I more or less did when I first started smoking last year. Just everything I was getting was 10-gram packs and giving them a try. If I wasn't keen on them, I just put them in my Monster Mash jar and just let them build up. There is a nightcap copy. I can't think what it's called off the top of my head though. Are you alright, Geek Piper? Right, I've got you. Eventide, that's it, yeah. Yeah, I think when you get an idea of what sort of flavours you like, and you can sort of break away from the 10-gram samples and what have you. But yeah, it's a great way when you, especially when you first start, to save a lot of money. I was stupid. I think the first couple of bunches I got, I just literally chucked it straight in the bin. I didn't even bother with it until I thought afterwards, no, I'll chuck it in a jar together and mix it up and, sort of mix in some latakia and change it around. So yeah, I wasted a couple of batches before I wised up to that one. Sam, I'm smoking the Ben Wade Woodsman. That's interesting, Sam. Well, I would say Artisan's blend, because I've just finished some recently. I would say that was close to Pirate Cake, Steve. Definitely a strong latakia. Artisan's blend's definitely on my refresh list. I think it was yesterday I did a video, Artisan blend versus Pirate Cake, because I had the Pirate Cake on the morning and then I did the video after. So I did with the last of the Artisan's blend, and I'll be honest with you, I did not taste a lot of difference. They both still come across as that really nice, strong latakia. Yeah, I agree, Geek, because I don't know what it was about the nightcap. I couldn't I couldn't get to grips with that, which is strange because I do enjoy the early morning pipe and I do like the Durbar as well. But the nightcap, when I tried it, I wasn't impressed. Well, I think I'll put this down and I think I'll try this Toscano, see what it's like. If you can get one, Steve, give it a try because it's. I would recommend it. I would definitely, if you like sort of pirate cake, strong latte Kia, go for it. I don't think you'll like it, Alex, because it's a strong latte Kia. John, I think the one that's really hit me recently is the GLP's Westminster. Funnily enough, I was smoking the last of it today, and I'm really going to have to get some more of that real soon because that's definitely been. I would say that's so far that's going to be my top tobacco in the last 6 months of the year, and it'll probably be my all-round favourite for the year, unless something comes up in the next few months that's going to be another wow factor. Right, here we go. You'll have to do your Clint Eastwood impressions. Not bad, actually. John, yeah, about the Westminster. Yeah, that one's really, really came out. I mean, I tried the Robusto, and that was sort of like, oh, this stuff's great. And then, like, say, I tried that one afterwards, and again, every GLPs that I've been having, it just seems to get better and better. The Maltese Falcon I tried recently again, another one that's, I think for me now, GLPs is going to take over from Cornell and Deal as the tobaccos of choice for me. Right, how many are you sitting there now going, doing the sound of the good, the bad, and the ugly? You know, I was expecting stronger. I know Sergeant Savinelli seems to favour these, but yeah, it's not what I was expecting. I must admit. UK favourite at the moment. That's a tough one. Um, hmm, that one is tough. Um, I think if I went by the amount I've bought over the last year and a bit would be the Peterson's Balkan Delight, because I have smoked quite a few tins of that. But there's a loose Latakia that I get from Durham, and it's a 75% Latakia, and again it's about the same strength as the Artisan Blend and the Pirate Cake. I think it might be Lakeland or like Kendall or something like that that does it. But saying that, I think if it came down to it, Ennerdale Flake. I do love Ennerdale Flake. Thought you might have been Steve. You know, they're not bad days actually. Yeah, Cabby's mixture's up there, definitely. Are you alright, Steve? Or Stephen rather, sorry, because we've already got a Steve in. Yeah, I keep seeing that one coming up as well, Steve. That Brebbia. Are you alright, Cobbs and Briars? Actually, just give us 2 seconds and I'll get a light on in here. It's a bit better. Try not to lens flare you all. Yeah, I'm the same, Sam. I picked a tin of that three Ps up, but I don't know. I think because it's easy, it seems to be easy to get hold of now. But if I had the choice, I definitely prefer the Revor plug. But honestly, it's like rocking horse shit to get hold of that stuff around here recently. I think they used to have it on as a really good price. You could pick up 50 grams for about £13.60. But recently the prices have just shot straight up to £15. See you later, Gig Piper. Good night. What, 3 tins of 3Ps for $22? Jesus, that's a bargain. I paid £14, well, almost £15 for one. I didn't realise Asda did their own brand. Right, cheers, Alex. That's interesting then. I was in Darlington a few months ago and there's a little tobacconist there. He is overpriced, but he had the 3Ps for £30. So you can imagine I laughed and I walked out. But I don't know if he'd hyped that up because at the time I think Peterson's was knocking it on the head. So he probably thought that he was just going to make a quick killing on it. Are you alright, Aces? How are you doing? Yeah, exactly. But then again, his normal tins are £20 a tin. So it's £5 more than what it is in Durham. I think the trouble is, John, there's nowhere else I can find in Darlington that does pipe tobacco. So I think he's got a bit of a corner for the market, I think. That's the trouble. There's not many tobacconists kicking around now. Good evening, Newton Piper. Yeah, something like that, Alex. I just laughed and walked out with something along the lines of taking the piss under my breath. Oh, I agree, definitely. I think he might have taken offence if I'd taken my phone out and took photographs of his display stand. I didn't want to push me luck when I burst out laughing when he told us the prices. Well, this hasn't been as strong as I expected. But I must admit, it's not bad. Yeah, or words to that effect. Sam, it's ridiculous round here. There was a little off-license tobacconists in the next town, and he used to have like a little stock of tobaccos. And last year I bought the walnut flake, which is called original flake now. I think it was like £16 odd, and honestly, it came in a horrible little plastic tub with like a film that you just ripped off the top, so there was nowhere to keep it sort of airtight afterwards. And I didn't enjoy the tobacco either, so they just print their own prices for them. Alex, it's interesting you say that because I was thinking the other day, has anybody put like a Latakia leaf in a cigar? John, I don't rate it. I wasn't impressed. I think for what others you can get out there, other flakes, I'm surprised they still sell it. To be honest, it must be the real old diehards that still smoke that stuff. Maybe one to look out for, Sam. See if we can find a Latakia cigar or cigarette. That would be interesting. Nah, it's not worth it, John. Honestly, like I said, if I hadn't tried others, yeah, I might have still picked up the odd one. But there's so many better ones out there. Well, Kim, I hope you see this video because I'm really enjoying this cigar. Thank you so much. Again, I snipped it in half because I thought it would have been sort of like smoke and tar, but no, I'm pleasantly surprised. Everything's bad in the UK. I just like the latest campaign about staying sober for October. They try to do a dry January, and then they're wondering why there's so many sort of pubs and clubs in the UK are all closing down. Honest, I tell you what, you'd have to have some pretty cast iron lungs to take a drawback on a Latakia cigarette. I've been finding recently if I'm smoking a really sweet aromatic that's a bit sort of too chemical, I've been putting a pinch of the Latakia in, and it's surprising what a difference it makes to sort of tone down that sweetness of the aromatic. I would I would reckon that if you inhaled Latakia, it would be like the same as inhaling on a cigar or a pipe. It would I dread to think. Yeah, just literally just a little pinch in. And when I opened the that Steve's going to curse us here, the Captain Black Sea. Again, I thought it was just a little bit too sickly for me, and again with the Midnight Gold, so I added the two of them to get there together, and the pouch of Captain Black that I had, and I bought 25 grams of the 75% Latakia and mixed it in there. And it's actually come out as quite a nice smoke. So Steve, if you're still here, there's the one. Next time you have some of the Black Sea, put a pinch of pirate cake in. See what you think. I love playing about with the tobaccos and mixing and matching and trying to come up with my own concoctions and see how they turn out. I thought you might have been, Steve. Try it though. I'd be very interested to see what you think. I know Sam was saying that he was having troubles hearing us. He's had to turn his volume really up high. So how's it coming across for everybody else? The Samuel Goworth, Sam. Yes, John gave us a tin. I've had a couple of bowls. I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the Erinmore flake as well. And I've got the Erinmore mixture to try. I've heard it's about the same taste wise, but the nicotine hit isn't as bad. I know, Alex, I think we've all sort of pressed the living daylights out of all of our tobaccos at the moment. Funny you say that though, because I was actually checking the Lord of the Rings blends that I pressed the other day because I've got them sort of marinating in the garage, and they've still held the shape and they're still quite solid. I had a nice flake recently, Special Latakia flake it's called. That was quite a nice one as well. The Latakia isn't too overpowering, which I was surprised. I thought it would have been really strong. When you draw it in the pipe, you don't really notice it, but when you do the retrohale, it definitely comes through your nose. Oh, Mike, was that the three little round ones I got? Yeah, that will be interesting. I tell you what is nice, the Haddo's Delight by GLPs, which is Perique, which has been sort of marinated with rum. That's quite a nice one to smoke. Take care, John. I'm glad you could join us. Mind how you go. Mike, if you follow Worth Valley Boy on YouTube, he did an experiment a while ago where he just smoked Perique on its own. And then he did his own experiment where he soaked it in rum, which was a bit of a thing that Aleister Crowley used to do with his tobacco. Apparently, he smoked just pure Perique that had been soaked in rum. Yeah, Alex, I'm actually thinking about getting the Ashton Rains to try them because, again, I love that artisan blend. It's really nice. That and Black Mallory, kind of just they are nice. Yeah, and if Tim pulls a face, you know it must be pretty ghastly. Right, I need to find somewhere to put this and let it go out. Back to me pipe. I wasn't impressed with it, Newton. I got sent some lane off Buckeye Piper. I need to check which one it is. I don't know if it's the 1Q, but it's sort of one of them. But I think the lane 1Q is sort of the bulk, the loose tobacco of the Captain Black, and a lot of people say that that's like a nice tastier tobacco. But yeah, I wasn't too sure about it. Yeah, no, it's the one from the States, Newton. The worst of it is you used to be able to get it off eBay. That's where I started getting them from last year. Unfortunately, got found out and he got closed down. Unfortunately, the one I had, Go and Spare, I've thrown it in another mix. Otherwise, I could have gotten that off to you. I know. I was getting a pouch with postage for about 10 quid, which was pretty good at the time. Well, I would say that this small batch um, is definitely sweeter than the Toscano cigar that I've just smoked. So after smoking that and then going on to this is a whole lot sweeter. Right. Well, that's interesting, Alex. Definitely. I know it's all Scandinavian tobacco group, so why can't we get it? I think the problem is that the UK are really trying to clamp down on a lot of the sort of flavored tobaccos. That's why a lot of like sort of your walnut blends being changed, and like your cherry is sort of called CH now, and it's just crazy. Yeah, Steve, I think I've moved on from like sort of really sweet aromatics now. I think it's a case of, again, when we were talking earlier about the sort of American blends and the English blends, I think when you first start watching YouTube videos, obviously a majority of you guys are from the States, so you're hearing about these brilliant tobaccos, you think, oh, I've really got to try them. So you sort of have to go out, get them, experience them, and you can sort of say, yeah, I've tried it, scratch it off the list now. I know it's crazy, isn't it? I remember when I was a kid, you used to sort of like hang around outside of off licenses and ask the guys, look, can you buy us a bottle of white diamond cider out of there? Now I think the kids are hanging around and asking you to go in and buy them a bread knife. I'll have to look out for that one, Sam. Steve, I tried the Cornell and Deal privateer and I was really disappointed in it. It wasn't what I was expecting. Hey Jimmy, how are you? Was that you who was trying to get into that 4x4 on Instagram? I tell you what, you'd get some canny view out of the windscreen of that one. So Newton, how are you finding the YTPC community? Yeah, it is pretty good. Well, it's just as well they're coming out on Monday, Alex, to see to it. Yeah, I'll be quite honest with you. If I hadn't sort of started following the pipe smokers on YouTube, I probably wouldn't have gotten back into pipe smoking. It was just sort of something I came across last year when I was flicking through and I was sort of having the odd bowl. Um, but again, it's just like there's so much out there, and again, like you say, the knowledge, it's brilliant. I won't ask how you manage that, Alex. Mike, nice to have you. Take care, mate. I was the same, Newton. I spent a fortune last year. Cheers, Jimmy. I really wished I'd done some before photographs because when we first moved in here 2 years ago, there was a knackered old greenhouse up the back and everything was just overgrown. It was literally like a forest. I mean, Karen didn't even want to rent the place because it was such a mess, but I said, no, look beyond that because when I get into it, I'll do it up and it's just steady away. It's took us a couple of years and there's a couple of other things I'd like to do, but yeah, we're getting there. The question is, Steve, what have you got more of? Pipes or fishing rods? Evening, Carvin. Yeah, I'm the same, Alex. I keep saying that I would like to get 21, then I've sort of got like, I can put a rotation where I've got like one morning, one afternoon, and one evening smoke. But what I've been doing is when I've sort of been getting a new pipe, the sort of like cheap, crappy ones I bought last year, I've just been throwing them in the bin. So I've had not getting I've not getting very far. A mortar pipe. Um, I don't know. It's not something I've really looked into, to be honest. I'm just a pain in the ass because I just keep looking at a Savinelli and I want it. Bloody hell, Steve. Well, if it's anything like the last one you got, Alex, it'll probably be a good one. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that, Jimmy. Um, Tonight, mate, I am smoking. Where have I put it? Oh, I'm smoking the Cornell and Deal small batch Sans Pulcro, um, because apparently the cigar leaf in it is from Italy, which makes the Toscano cigars. And I just tried a Toscano for the first time earlier, and I was just saying to the lads there that this is a lot sweeter after smoking the cigar. So, and I did enjoy the cigar as well, but this is definitely a lot sweeter. But if you can grab it one, I don't know what these are like for availability now, but they are a really nice smoke. I know I haven't done a church warden Sunday for ages. I tell you what, I think everybody. I always say that two pipes you should have is a country gentleman and a church warden. I usually like aromatics in the church warden because with it being unfiltered and with it having such a long stem, I don't tend to get a lot of tongue bite from it because I just sort of take it nice and easy. Oh yeah, the 320. Got to have one of those. Yeah, I'll have to see what I can do, Jimmy, because I'm not throwing it away. It's not. I'll see what I can do with it. I got one given off Suffolk Piper, and when I was smoking it the other day, I noticed it had a what I thought was a hairline crack around it. And when I sort of like held it in my hand, I think I must have held it a bit too tight, and it snapped all the way through. Well, I think the Country Gentleman is an absolutely fantastic corn cob. Out of all the corn cobs I've tried, I definitely like the Country Gent. I did get it as a because I wanted it for when I went out London because I thought, well, if I sort of lost it, then I've not lost a really expensive pipe. But yeah, I've got it in a summer house at the top, and it's usually a one that I tend to grab as much as possible. Evening, Simon. Did you have a good holiday? Oh no, the Lee's still safe, Sam. Was it a working holiday, Simon? Or were you just a taxi? Not yet, Sam. I will though. Did you find the tobacconists in New York? Because I know there was a one there. Oh, hang on, we'll wait till he comes back. Right, so is it a bit like Gotham? Take care, Alex. I'll catch up with you later. No, unfortunately not. It's Dr. Pepper. Oh, right. I was going to have some Tetley Smooth, but the Dr. Pepper will last longer. Nothing wrong with that, Sam. So Newton, are you going to head back to that castle with a night vision camera? To be honest, Sam, I've not bothered watching Gotham. Um, it's uh, it's one I should watch really. See what it's like. You'll have to try and get Most Haunted up there and see if you can sneak in with them. Mind you, all she seems to do in that show is scream her ass off. Oh, well, that'll definitely be interesting to watch. Take care. Thanks a lot for joining us, Carvin Piper. Yeah, they do. I've got Amazon Prime, Sam, and what's annoying is that I tend to find that you'll get a good show on there that I can watch as part of the subscription, and you'll just sort of get halfway through the seasons and then they put it back on. You've got to buy it, which is annoying. So what I tend to do is that when they put the shows on Prime, I try to binge watch the whole lot. Justified came on about a month ago, and I literally watched the whole lot and got through them all before they got taken back off. I just started getting into Hell on Wheels, and it's gone back up. You've got to buy it, so that's a bit of a pain in the neck. Yeah, definitely. Well, I keep thinking of trying Netflix because I quite fancy watching Stranger Things. So I've sort of been thinking to myself, well, how many TV shows can I watch in me 1 month's free? But I think I would be sort of square-eyed if I'd finished doing that because there's that much I want to see. Because I know, is it Lucifer? I think that's jumped to Netflix. The last couple of seasons is sort of on there, which is a bit of a cheeky one. Yeah, I did. Brilliant series. If you've not seen Justified, watch it because it's absolutely fantastic. Yes, Sam, I was just getting into it. I think I got about halfway through the first series, and then obviously they've gone. You've got to buy them, so I'll probably have to wait until it comes back on for free again, and by then I'll probably have to start right from the beginning again. That was quick, Alex. Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of Banshee. I think the good thing about them ones now is if you sort of look on eBay, you can tend to pick them up for quite cheap for the box sets. So it's probably a lot cheaper to get it off eBay than sort of going through like Amazon or Netflix, etc. Yeah, I'm good at that. I can't say yeah, Dark Crystal yet. And The Sopranos. That's come on Amazon, but it hasn't come on for free yet. So I'm fingers crossed that that's going to happen. Yeah, the bits I've seen of Banshee, I've like watched like the odd bits on YouTube, and yeah, it looks pretty dark. Like that bit with the guy in the prison, the albino bloke, what he does to him was pretty brutal. No, again, Sons of Anarchy was another one I started to watch, and again something else came on, and I watched that instead. And there's so many I've got to try and catch up on because I've sort of been getting Karen under Boardwalk Empire and Peaky Blinders, and the new series of that started now. So obviously we're watching that. So well, it must be pretty brutal then, Sam. Yeah, Only Fools and Horses. I used to think it was brilliant, but I think towards the end, I think what put me off was every time you sort of went on the BBC, they were always like re-showing them, and I sort of got a little bit sick of it. So it's probably one to go back to now and sort of revisit the Mayans. Yeah. If I was to get Netflix, Sam, I would get it for that because the trailer looks brilliant. But the trouble is, it's a case of well, sort of got excited for watching the new Star Wars movies, and trailers look great, but when you watch the films, they were a bit of a letdown. So, but I don't know if that's going to go on Disney's own channel or what. I'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. Yeah, Newton. It's basically the Mandalorians, so it's like Boba Fett crowd, that sort of thing. But watch the trailer on YouTube. It looks like it'll be really good. Yes, Minster. What's that for, Jimmy? Alex, have you watched The Thick of It? Yeah, that's one I've not seen for a while, Newton either. I think the trouble is now a lot of the old shows they're a bit apprehensive to show them because they're not politically correct anymore. And you know, there's so many good shows out there that they could probably show and they can't because they don't want to offend anybody and you know end up with loads of hate mail coming through for them. I agree, Jimmy. I would say that my two top favourite that I've watched in sort of like the last 6 years was Deadwood and Boardwalk Empire. In the Loops, the movie. Sam, it's not one I got into, to be honest. I think when I was a kid, that was sort of on a little bit later, and I never got the chance to catch that one. I used to catch the odd bits. I always thought it was funny when he thought of his mother-in-law, and you saw the hippo running along the road. If you like Reginald Perrin, you've got to try and look for a show called Rise and Damp, because the guy who played Reginald Perrin's in that, and he's brilliant. Rigsby. Yeah, yeah. I don't think we should be talking about Kate Beckinsale. Like that's opening up a whole new can of worms. Yeah, Alex, but that was a bit. It wasn't as good. Like Jimmy, I get Prime over here because I've had it years. I only pay $4.99 a month. What didn't she do, Sam? I had to watch Underworld 3 times before I even realised she was a vampire. I got Karen a rubber catsuit, but by the time I covered her in baby powder, I just give up. Alex, yeah, I think that was the first episode. Yeah, Alex, it didn't do very well, did it? It was pretty poor. That's interesting, Newton. You'll have to keep us updated on that one. Just tell us it's not going to be like Twilight. Steve, great to see you. Yeah, I'll have to do a few more lives because the crack's great. Thank God for that. Yeah, I think Twilight did for vampires what 50 Shades of Grey did for S&M. Newton, I can't think what the titles are, but I'll message you them on Instagram. But I think I've read book one and two, but it was a really good spin on the vampire story. I think it was like Nosferatu, I think it was called, where the actual vampires were aliens, where they left their dying world and they came to Earth. But what happened was that one of the fruits that they used to eat on their home planet was basically like a plasma. But what happened was when they started feeding on humans, they took on like a human form. But their original alien form is what the Nosferatu vampire looks like. And the first book is sort of them coming to Earth. The second book is sort of like going through the history. And I think the third book is them trying to get back to the home planet. But I think I got the first book for free on Kindle, and I really, really did enjoy them. No, I've not bothered with the 50 Shades films, Sam. From what I heard of the books, they were bad enough. Yeah, Kate Beckinsale was in Van Helsing as well, wasn't she? I haven't seen the third one yet, Sam. She doesn't seem to change, does she, when you watch these films? I thought she was good in Total Recall as well. It wasn't bad, Sam. I think the new one was more to the book than the original Arnold Schwarzenegger one. How are you doing, OCD? No, I don't think that's going to work. I did, yeah. Again, it's totally different to the movie. 2 seconds, I'll just clean my pipe out. No, I've got the door closed. Exactly. What I can't understand is, Sam, is how have they never been able to make a decent Stephen King film? I think the only one that I actually enjoyed was Christine. Good evening, Luke. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I watched the first It movie, and I'm not too sure whether I'm going to bother with the second chapter, to be honest. And I haven't bothered with Pet Cemetery because, from what I've heard, it's a pile of crap. I know I was wondering whether to go through and get a can. Yeah, definitely Newton. I think it's a little dated now, but um, but again, I think with his books, they need to be sort of done into a TV series. I mean, when they did Salem's Lot, like the original TV series was fantastic. Then they butchered it to make it into a movie, and they really killed a lot of it off. And I didn't even bother with the remake. I mean, I think they've done the Doctor Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. So again, it just shows that they might bang a high end actor into these things, but they just kind of seem to get the stories right. What, Newcastle Brown Ale, Alex? Newton, when I used to go into Reading, they used to have a brilliant Hobgoblin bar. It used to be absolutely fantastic. And when you went in, they used to have like the little snugs, so you could sort of go in and sort of stay out of the crowd if you wanted. Yeah, it used to be brilliant because we used to sort of do the shopping and go in there for a pint and stagger around to the train station for the last train home. I know I made the mistake of buying the Dark Tower. I don't know what I was thinking. No, I've seen the trailer for it and I noticed it's on Prime, but I haven't watched it yet. I think they brought a couple out, didn't they? Do another one called The Inklings. Newton, I always lose a day on spirits. Yeah, I think the trouble is when they make TV shows, it's like if they don't seem to do well, they just cancel them off. I mean, you know that it happened with Deadwood. And I think with something like such as the Gunslinger books, I think the trouble is the audience wise. I mean, I know they did okay with Under the Dome, but I don't know. Again, would it have the audience for them ones? Alex, that's sacrilege. Jesus, Sam, I don't fancy trying that. I always think that if you have to put a mixer in whiskey, the only thing it's good for is toothache. Ah, Alex, maybe with a little water. No, this is just the conservatory that I've got on the back of the bungalow. Yeah, but the great thing is, Newton, whiskey drowns both of them out. Hi, Whale Piper. Sorry, Kent, I wasn't sure if that was your name or you were living in Kent. Jimmy, I keep hearing about this house party, and there's another one as well, and I'll have to look into that and see how I can get on that. Jeremiah sent us a message last weekend, but I was busy at the time. I think he was going on a one, and so I wasn't able to join it and see what it was like. I haven't, no. Welcome back, Simon. Simon, did you find that tobacconists in York? Because I know there used to be a really good one there, but sadly it closed last year. Yeah, the shop they used to have in York was brilliant. That's where I got my first meerschaum from, and the church warden. Yeah. I was talking to Phil the other day and I said, "Oh, how much tobacco did you bring back from America?" And he smuggled back 15 tins. Yeah, I think it was all the tins that he had at his mum's place. Take care, Newton. Nice to see you. Have a good night. Yeah, it's at the top of Leith Walk, Simon. I don't think it's very big though. I'm trying to think. Somebody did a video last year when he was up there for his birthday. And he did like a little tour of the shop. I don't personally, Jimmy. If I drink bourbon, I do. But if I drink like a malt whiskey, I just drink it neat. Yeah, Simon, it's my first port of call next time I'm up Edinburgh. I can't believe it because I used to live just literally round the corner from it when I lived up there, and the amount of times I've walked past it and never thought about popping in. Right, was it Tommy? I knew somebody did, but I couldn't remember who. Simon, I was still surprised to see that the tobacconist's still on the go in Redden. The one that's just in the little arcade. You did the video of it. 2 seconds, I'll just get a refill and shift the cat. Come on, out. Never mind that. Yeah, he snuck in. I'm going to blame the cat, Sam. Yeah, all this talk of alcohol, I had to go and get one. Alex, have you been making any more tampers lately? Yeah, I get blamed for everything. Sorry, Suffolk, I meant Pipe Puffer UK, Alex. Evening, Bulldog. Yeah, we fine, thanks. Are you? You'll have to get some photos on Instagram. It's Saturday night, Bulldog. Why not? Which one are you drinking, Alex? I think I'll have to try and invest in a better webcam and a mic for this laptop, I think. Nice. No. No. I guess that's a yes then. We have to. Yeah. Yeah, I only ever go for single malts. No, it doesn't, Alex. For some reason, I can't get it to work on the laptop, and I can't get it to work on my new phone either. So um, it works okay with the Samsung. So what I've been thinking about doing is that if I upgrade the phone, I'm going to go back to a Samsung. But I'm not. I've done like an upgrade on my new phone, and I don't know why, but when I'm doing the videos up the top, it sort of keeps flashing, and like it kind of get the contrast and the brightness right. So I'll have to try and maybe invest in a decent camera. I'm drinking Tetley Smooth. I've never tried any of the Johnny Walker. Excuse me. Go on then. Cheers. It's really annoying to try and find this on draft around here. Everybody seems to go for John Smith's, which I'm not. It's not one of my favourites. I think my all-time favourite, what I used to really enjoy when I lived in Scotland, was the Tennant's Velvet. But I don't think you can get it now. Yeah, I'm the same. There's a great pub not far from here. They've got their own microbrewery. But the trouble is, it is absolutely dynamite. It's one of those ones that it just sort of hits you, and you sort of walking home with one eye closed. It's crazy because we've got a B&M, not like tobacco B&M, but like it sells like sort of homewares and that type of thing, and they usually have a really good selection of craft beers in there. So usually when I go in there, I tend to get a few different ones in there. And they're really really good priced as well, because when you go to such as Tesco's and what have you, they always like really stupid prices that they're asking for them. Yeah, I bet. I'll be honest, Sam, I can't now because since I got this vertigo last weekend, I had like four cans and a couple of whiskies, and I really suffered during the night. I can't drink anywhere near what I used to be able to. Usually stick to like a couple of pints and that's it for me. Cheers, Jimmy. I know a couple of lads have had problems and they've had to turn the volume up really high. Yeah, the light we've got in here is pretty dismal, so I need to sort that out. I was hoping to do it earlier, but by the time I updated the computer and everything and I got set up, it was getting dark. So can that actually happen, Alex? Can you get done for sort of drinking with a motorised scooter? Alex, it's been good to see you. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Take care of yourself. I'll speak to you soon. Yeah, that's the trouble, Sam. You get a taste for it, don't you? Jimmy, I tend to find now that when I go into a bar, I sort of I don't feel like I can relax now. I always seem as if I'm always on like high alert because in case things kick off and you get the local idiots in the bar, and I think that's why a lot of people now tend to sort of have these garden bars and things like that. And I mean, I must admit, we mostly drink sort of in the house or in the garden now. Take care, Alex. Is the bar near where you live, Suffolk? We have to. Do you want to go in? Go on. Oh, that's dangerous then. Yeah, it's a shame, Jimmy, because it sort of spoils the evening, doesn't it? those ones are dangerous, Alex. Another one near us is. The place up the road does two ciders. They do one with rhubarb and they do one with elderflower, and that stuff is absolutely puts you on your back. But again, it's sort of just, you feel fine and all of a sudden it just wipes you out. I had a I had a beer with elderflower last weekend, Sam, and it was really nice. It's definitely one I would go again. Well, listen, lads, it's been a great night. I've really enjoyed it. We're well over 2 hours now, and I think I'm going to head off. So definitely have to do this again. Now I've got my laptop updated. I can get it sorted out soon. So enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, or enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll see you all again soon. Thanks for joining us.